Hey, it's Maynard again, Barn Shop Productions. Semper Fi, that means forever faithful to the Marines out there. I support all the military. I happen to have been a Marine, and I still am. Once a Marine, always a Marine. Guys, I started a project here just recently on a 95 Mazda pickup truck. I've done a couple of things to it. I've tried to do a few things that could get me moving along pretty quickly. I've had a few things to get in my way. Some family issues with a brother that has gotten real ill at 87. So anyway, that's taken me away from my hobby. I'm not a professional painter. It's my hobby and I have a ball doing it. I retired some years ago and I've been having fun playing with this. What I've got is a pickup truck that I have actually sanded down, got it all prepped, covered the bare spots where I had to take it down to metal with a DTM. And then I attempted to use a G2 feather fill by Evercoat. The paint's fine. They say it has a pot life. I don't know. Anyway, I do know one thing. The hardener that goes with it, that is something that does have a pot life. It has a time frame on it stamped in the very bottom of those tubes. You got to look close, but you can see it. It's no good after a year, ordinarily. Well, I found out the hard way. I had some that was dated about a year and a half ago. I put it in that feather fill. It's a real high bill, good primer. Dang, boy, did it make a mess. You talk about coming out and looking like rubber. It took me 3 days to get my equipment cleaned back up. So anyway, I learned the hard way. Just thought I'd pass that on to you so you'd know what I'm doing. I wanted to try a new product that I wasn't aware of it. The guys at the lady actually at the paint store told me about this. It's called 5-Star Extreme High Solids Acrylic Lacquer Primer Surfacer Gray. Now, I'm going back red on this truck. I wanted black primer. It covers easier. The gray, the lighter the primer, the more you paint you got to put on to get your paint to pop. So anyway, gray's the only thing that comes in. It can take a lacquer thinner as a second part of it. It goes 1-to-1. It's a 1-to-1. You might, if you do a quart of mix up a quart of paint, primer, 1 quart lacquer thinner, 1-to-1. Very simple. Of course, if you're going to do 1 quart at a time, which is about all my canister there will hold, then you want to go halfway with the primer and then halfway the rest of the way. If it, like this, for example, is 26 ounces. If you want to go 26 ounces, then go half of that and fill up with the primer and half of it with your lacquer thinner. Now, lacquer thinner is a little different than some of the reducers. I found out the hard way that sometimes handling this stuff, letting it get on your hands, especially using it as a cleaner, which by the way works, and that's what actually I finally used to get that feather fill that went where the hardener and activator went bad. I finally got it out by using this. About 3 days of soaking and some elbow grease. So anyway, that's what you want to be careful with it, because if you don't wear gloves, it'll get you. It could react in a serious way on your skin. All right, that gives you an idea of what I'm doing. I'm about to fill my spray gun today. I got a brand new spray gun in the mail today. I'm anxious to try it out. It's not this one. This is my older one. I'm going to use it for the primer here. I got a 1.8 tip in it. No, I didn't. I put a 1.5 in it because I'm bringing this down. It's pretty thin. By the time you get it 1-to-1, it's pretty thin. 1.5 spray nozzle will do fine. I've got a 1.8 and I've got a 2.2. I used the 2.2, by the way, on my feather fill the other day. Should have been fine, except for one fact, and that was the activator. it went straight to pot. Went to hell in a handbasket, so to speak. All right, enough talking. I'm going to show you here in just a second. I gotta pour my paint real quick. I'll get back with you. Out in another room here, I've got one of those fold-out stands that you put hoods and doors and stuff like that on. So the tailgate I've got out there, I'm going to spray it first, and then I'm going to come back in here, and I'm going to start on the roof and work down. Now, there are people that say start at the bottom and work up to the middle of the roof, go over to the other side, start in the middle of the roof and work down. There's some valid reasons for all of it, but basically I'm going to start in the middle of the roof and work down. By the time I get to the bottom, I'll get on the other side. Now the middle of the roof, hopefully it won't be that dry, and it'll blend in when I start there and work down. That's one of the points I think that's being made, and especially by certain individuals that really believe that. They would rather work up there. That would be real wet. Then you get over here on the other side and you start there and it's still wet, so it blends in good and go on down. So there's reasons for all of it. It's a matter of preference, however you want to do it. It's up to you. So anyway, there you go. I want to show you a couple of things here before I cut off. I'm going to grab the camera, and I'm going to walk around just a little bit and show you what I've got. I pulled a really unique little situation here. Maybe it's not so unique. It is for me. I hung my bed from a big, huge rafter that I've had put up there, and I hoisted it up. I'm by myself. Picked up the bed, moved it back, separated it from the truck. We're ready to paint. So it made it a lot easier. So that's what I'm going to show you there, and I'm going to show you I've got the truck ready. Let me get this camera and go from there. We'll show you what's going on. All right, pardon me here while I move this thing a little bit. Try to get it out of the stand I've got it in. That's not working real well. I don't know what I've done. Maybe I shouldn't have done anything, because it's not coming out. There it is. Okay, that ain't got you dizzy. I don't know what will. Okay, basically, the bed of the truck, I got her hoisted up there to the ceiling. The inside of the bed, not painting it. I'm going to go with a bed liner, and I may very well go with a bed coating and paint it on. And if I do, I'll go ahead and give you a glimpse of that in the video and let you see how that goes. You see, this bed is in the black, and where I've worked it down, that was that primer I tried to use. It took me a bit to work it down. The gray you see in there is the DTM. That's where I had the bare metal covered. Also, we move on around here. You see how I've got this thing separated. I really have moved it back so I can actually spray in there on the front of the bed, and also the back of the cab. I can get it all the way around. I've got it taped off, and all this gray that you see here is in fact the DTM. I got the hood up because I want to spray down in the area here where the hood is coming down, where it latches in this area in here down. I'm going to spray that. I've got the grill off. I'm going to show you a video on how to take that grill off and put it back on. So basically, that's pretty much what I've got right there. What I've done is I literally sanded it down. Then I put the DTM where there was bare metal. I washed the truck, got it good and clean, and I taped it off. And now I have taken the bug and wax remover and all that debris remover, and I've scrubbed the truck down good with it again to make sure that there's no fingerprints, no sweat, no nothing on it to irritate, aggravate, and cause the primer not to stick good, and the paint, of course, after that. So there you go. This gives you an idea of what I've got. This side I don't have cut down quite as much. Didn't have to cut it down quite as much because I didn't put the black primer that went to hell on me over there. I didn't have to put it on. I didn't put it on this side because when I got through with that side, I was disgusted a bit. And I had a couple of very, very kind things to say about the activator, but that's just something I didn't know. Learned the hard way. I'm telling you so that you'll know. and go from there. All right, guys, I'm going to shut you off for a second. I'm going to go out here in the other room. I'm going to spray me a tailgate with some primer. And the primer, like I said, is the primer that I'm using right here. This is that 5400. It's not real expensive. I was surprised. They highly recommended it, saying that at the paint store that a lot of the shops around have been using it. My only problem is it's gray. I wanted black, and like I said, so black would be a good base color down there underneath it as a primer before I put the paint back on, because you see the truck was originally red, as you can see, and I'm going back original. This is not a color change, it's going back original, so I don't have to do a lot of the things that you have to do on a truck that has a complete color change. All right, I'm gonna go out here and spray this thing down, and then I'll come in here and start spraying on it, and I'll let you watch it. I know that's about as interesting as watching paint dry or watching me spray primer on, so we'll see you then.